So, friends, welcome back once again. In today's session, we would continue with our previous discussion about options. Let's have a quick revision of what we did yesterday. What are derivatives? Derivatives are the tools for risk management for any business anywhere in the world. Derivatives are called as derivatives because they do not have their own existence. They derive their existence from something else. That something else is known as underlying. That something is known as underlying. There are four types of derivatives. Number one, there can be many types of the four derivatives for that matter, but predominantly there are four types of derivatives. Number one is a forward contract, and that means there is a buyer and there is a seller, and both the buyer and the seller, both of them have the rights and both of them have the obligation, and that is your forward contract. Then you have future. So futures are also nothing but forwards only. The only difference is forwards are customized. They are OTC traded contracts, whereas the futures are standardized products and they are exchange traded products. The third type of derivative is options, and options are the contracts where the buyer of the option has a right but no obligation, and the seller of the option has an obligation but no right. Options are of two types, call options and the put options. And the fourth category of the derivative products are swaps. And swaps means two parties will exchange or swap between them the derivative products so as to optimize the two derivatives that they have swapped. Then we is hedging derivative? An answer, of course, is no. Hedging is not a derivative. Hedging is not a derivative product as such. Hedging is only the process of protecting yourself against any likely risk that you may have, and that's your hedging. What are the options? Options are the products derivatives that give buyer of the option a right. So there are two types of options: call option. So in case of the call option, the buyer of the option gets a right to purchase an underlying, and that underlying can be, as we discussed, can be anything. And there is another option, and that is put option. In case of the put option, the holder of the option or the buyer of the option gets a right to sell the underlying that he may have, and that's your options. Options and all derivatives, please remember, are basically tools for risk management, and it is recommended that they should be used only as a tool for risk management. In case if the derivatives are not judiciously, then they can prove to be the weapons of mass destruction, as was said by the great Warren Buffett. What are the underlyings on which an option can be based? So it can be share, index, interest rate, bond, rupee dollar exchange rate, commodities like sugar, crude oil, soya bean, cotton, coffee, gold, silver, and any other commodity for that matter. What are the types of options? The types of options, as we already discussed, uh, is a call option and the put option. So call option can be a long call or it can be a short call. And please remember, in case of the call options or the put option, the long or the short has got nothing to do with the duration of an option. So long simply means bought position, and short simply means sold position. So long, when we say long call, that means the person who is holding a long call, he has purchased the call option, and someone who is having a short call, that means he has sold a call option, or he has returned a call option. Put option, if it is a long put, that means the person who is holding the long put, he has purchased he has purchased a put option, or someone who is saying that he is short put, he is having short put, that means he is the one who has written a put option. Sorry, and that is how we have to understand call option and put option. Just for your benefit, once again, let me repeat. In case of derivatives, in case of futures, as well as in case of options, the long or short has got nothing to do with duration at all. It only indicates long means bought position, short means sold position. There are six features that we need to understand as far as the few options are concerned. Number one is the strike, contract, or exercise price. So whenever someone is buying a call option or put option, he will always buy that contract, buy that option with a strike price, which is also known as contract price, which is also known as exercise price. In our discussion in this program, we will invariably call it either as a strike price or as exercise price. So please remember, whenever I'm saying strike price or exercise price, or in case if I happen to also say contract price, please remember I'm meaning the same thing, and that is the rate at which the option is being bought or the option is being purchased. Number two, what you have in case of options is the premium. Premium is what? Premium is as when you buy insurance on your car or on your life, you will always pay a premium. And why do you pay premium to the insurance company? You pay the premium to the insurance company because insurance company, by selling that policy to you, is taking risk. And accordingly, in case of options also, it is also same. So in case of option also, the person who is selling an option to you, whether it's call option or put option, remember, he is giving you right without any obligation. Obligation he is keeping with himself. Since he is keeping the obligation with himself, obviously he is taking a risk, and for that risk he needs to be compensated, and that is why we always pay premium, and this premium is always paid upfront. So as and when you are buying a put option or call option, at the time of purchase of the option itself, your account will be debited by the amount of premium, and this is also known as option premium. So you call it option premium or you simply call it premium, both mean the same thing. Then you have a spot price, and all of us understand what is the spot price. So जिस प्राइस पे आज की तारीख में या इस समय में कोई स्टॉक या कोई करेंसी एक्सचेंज हो रही है, ट्रेड हो रही है, so that is the spot price. So spot price is the price at any given point in time. We all understand it very well. And then point number 4 that we need to understand in the context of options is expiry, expiration, maturity, or settlement date. So every option, whether it's call option or put option, will have an expiry date. That means this option, if not exercised by this date, will expire, or that is the date on which it will be settled, or that is the maturity date, or that is the expiration date. And that is what we must remember. So every contract, every put option, every call option will have a settlement date, maturity date, expiry date, or expiration date. But remember, they all mean the same thing. So if the option is not exercised by that date, by the holder of the option will automatically expire, And the fifth thing is the payoff. And what is the meaning of payoff? The meaning of payoff is worth of an option at any given point in time. Worth of an option at any given point in time. And that is what we will understand more as we go today. And then the sixth thing is the parties to an option. So remember, in both the cases, whether it is a call option or whether it is a call option or it is a put option, in both the cases there are two parties. One is the holder of the option or the buyer of the option, and the second is seller of the option or writer of the option. And this is applicable in both the situations. So doesn't really matter whether it is a call option or it is a put option. In both the cases, there will be two parties, and buyer of the option is known as holder of the option, and the seller of the option is known as writer of the option. Then we discussed styles of options. There are basically two styles of options. Number one is the European option, and number two, American option. How do you differentiate between an European option and an American option? Answer, of course, is very simple. A European option can be exercised only on the date of expiry. So जो उसका लास्ट डेट है यूरोपियन ऑप्शन को उसी डेट को एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं, उसके पहले एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर सकते हैं. एंड वेयर एज द अमेरिकन ऑप्शन कैन बी एक्सरसाइज any time before the date of expiry, so this is the difference between the American option and the European option. Please remember, in India as it stands today, the options which are available are only European options. That means if you buy an option, you would be able to exercise it only on the date of the expiry. In India also, remember, today, whether it is NSE or BSE, the options which are available are offered for 1 month, 2 months, and 2 months or 3 months. So today the options are not available for a duration more than 3 months. And the last Thursday of every month is the date of expiry, or is the expiration date. So if you have bought a 1 month contract, let's say of December, that means you will need to exercise this contract on the last Thursday of December. If it is 2 months, then January. If it is 3 months, then February. And then of course these options are available every month. So you have a new options being added every month. So these are the styles of options which are available to you. Then we need to understand what is a covered option and what is a naked option. So the covered option and the naked option is applicable in the context of put option. And please remember, there can always be a question in your exam. As a matter of fact, everything that we are discussing, we have structured this program in such a way so that you are able to gauge the kind of questions which can come from this part of the syllabus of your exam. So in the context of put option, and remember, put option is what? Put option is a right to sell. So when you are buying a put option, basically you are buying a right to sell a certain number of shares of certain company. So covered option का मतलब क्या है? Covered option का मतलब ये है, when you are buying a put option, and let's say you are buying a put option in Tata Motors for 100 shares. So you are buying a put option of Tata Motors for 100 shares, and you have 100 shares in your possession. That means this put option that you have purchased is a covered put option. And why it is a covered put option? Because you are really holding 100 shares of Tata Motors with you. But if you are buying a put option or in Tata Motors for 100 shares, but you do not have Tata Motors with you as it stands today, that means it is a naked option, or it is known as uncovered option. That means you are buying a right to sell Tata Motors, but you do not have Tata Motors with you, and that is why it is known as uncovered option, uncovered put option. And remember, you can have a question in the exam: what is a covered option, what is an uncovered option, what is a naked option? And they will give you 4 options. If you have understood it, I am sure you will be able to answer this question very easily. Now let's understand quickly what are the 4 possible options trading positions. So option के जो domain है उसमें कौन सी 4 trading positions हो सकती हैं? And please remember, there can be only these 4 trading positions. So number 1 is long call. That means you have purchased a call option. That means you are a buyer of call option. So that is one trading position that you can have. Number 2, short call. Short call का मतलब क्या है? Someone has written a call option. Someone has written a call option, and the person who has written the call option is known as seller of the call option. So that is second trading position. Third is long put. And long put means what? Remember, whenever it is long, it means purchase. So long put का मतलब क्या है? Long put का मतलब है you have bought a long put. That means you have bought a put option. And put option, I am sure you will remember, is to give you a right to sell certain number of shares of certain company before a certain date. So when you have a long put, it means what? It means you are buyer of the put option. You are a buyer of put option. That means you have a right to sell in our previous example, let's say of Tata Motors, 100 shares. And then somebody has to also write a put option. So that means somebody who is selling the put option, he is known as a seller of the option. He is also known as a writer of the put option. So that means he is the one who is writing this put option. That means he is the one who is taking the obligation of ensuring that he purchases a certain number of shares from the buyer of the put option, depending on his wish to exercise that option. And then of course, what will you do if you are bullish about the market? अगर आपको लगता है कि मार्केट ऊपर जाने वाला है, या अगर आप किसी पर्टिकुलर स्क्रिप्ट की बात करें और आपको लगता है कि वो पर्टिकुलर स्क्रिप्ट ऊपर जाने वाली है, तो आप क्या करेंगे? नंबर वन, व्हाट यू विल डू, you will buy a long call or you will go for long call. That means you will buy a call option. अगर आपको लगता है कि ICICI का शेयर ऊपर जाने वाला है, that if that is what your view is, that means you are bullish about ICICI, then and you want to make a profit out of this view of yours. So what you will do, you will buy a call option on ICICI, right? And that is number one you can do. Second thing what you can do, in case if you are bullish, is you can write a short put. That means you can sell a put option. तो अगर आपको लगता है कि आप ICICI के पे bullish हो, तो आप you can sell a put option. So when you are selling a put option, that means what? That means you are that means you are taking an obligation to purchase from someone these shares of ICICI. And remember, you are bullish. Since you are bullish, the price of the share will go up. If the price of the share will go up, obviously the holder of the put option, the long put, will not exercise, and therefore you will gain by way of the premium that you would have collected at the time of writing of the short put or the put option. If you are bearish about the market, then what you can do? If you are bearish about the market, the first thing that you can do is you can write a short call. That means you can sell a put option, or what you can do, you can purchase a put option, or you can go long on, or you can go long and buy a put option. So this is what you can do in case. So these are the two strategies that you would deploy in case you are bearish about the market, or in case if you are bearish about a particular script. And these two strategies you will deploy in case if you are bullish about the market. So this is what we discussed, and we also covered the what is payoff, and we understood very clearly yesterday when we discussed payoff का मतलब क्या है. Payoff का मतलब है what is the worth of the call option or the put option that you are holding. So payoff का मतलब क्या है? Payoff का मतलब ये है कि जो call option या put option आपने purchase किया है आज की तारीख में, how much it is worth. So how do you find it out? So you will find out payoff in case of a call option. You will find out payoff by deducting strike price from the spot price, and this is how you will find out the payoff on a call option. And how do you find out the profit from the call option? You will find out the profit from the call option by deducting the amount of premium that you have paid in purchasing the call option from the amount of payoff on the call option at that particular point in time. And likewise, how do you find out the payoff on a put option? You will find out payoff from a put option by deducting the spot price from the strike price, and this is how you will get your payoff on the put option. How do you find out the profit from the put option? You will find out the profit from the put option by deducting the figure of option premium that you have paid from the amount of payoff on the put option, and that is how you will figure out the amount of profit that you hold from the put option. Remember always, there is an inverse relationship between the call option and the put option. As you can see here, for finding the payoff on call option, you deducted the strike price from the spot price, and for finding out the payoff from the put option, you deducted the spot price from the strike price. So you did absolutely opposite of each other, and that is what you should always remember, and this will help you in grasping this session further. So this is a very quick revision of what we covered yesterday. and I thought to have it very quickly so that every one of us now are on the same page. In case if any one of you may have any question or any doubt on anything that we have discussed so far, please go ahead. You can ask me that question, and I would be very happy to take all your doubts and all your questions.